Good morning everyone. My pilot project is appraisal methods for RJ Riverfront development, which will be done in three aspects, that is social, environmental and technical. The aim of the project is to list down the parameters for riverfront development in the same three aspects as mentioned earlier. Methodology was to understand the present and past scenarios of RJ River and analysis of DP, TP scheme, river width and land use, and also multiple case studies guidelines were reviewed to prepare a set of parameters that can be used to prepare a RFT, ultimately giving suggestions or modifications that can be made in the report, which would help to increase the quality of importance. The RJ River is neglected and polluted by the citizens. There are many encroachments on the bank of the river. Need of the project. As mentioned in the common presentation, the urbanization is increasing in the Rajkot city, but the recreational and open spaces are minimum. Background of the project. Our history says that humans used to settle on the banks of the water bodies, but this is not the case with Rajkot. Here the residences have turned away from the river and the river is neglected, causing unhealthy and unsanitary conditions with multiple encroachments. Literature review. These are the 6 guidelines I have reviewed to understand the key aspects which should be taken into considerations before proposing a riverfront development. The Waterfront NL is a consulting service which says that the waterfront should be master plan centric and should follow zoning and conservation. Similarly, in the other guidelines, key aspects are to follow EIA, to be festival friendly and so on. History analysis. This is the timeline of RJ River width with an interval of 5 years for the same months of summer and monsoon season. So in the summer, we can see that the river width increases, which is due to flooding in 2017, and similarly in monsoon, it has increased by 2020. These are the observations made on the site visit and current scenarios. The DP analysis has been done to support the technical aspect of the RFT. The DP 2012 doesn't follow the RFT guidelines as it has minimum green spaces, but the DP 2031 has green spaces allotted at the downstream, that is at the river RG2. Even that green space is not much, so when compared to URDPFI guidelines, so there is a need to increase the recreational spaces near RG River in order to follow the guidelines. The land use analysis shows that in the year 2011, residential, vacant and industrial areas were proposed, but by the year 2031, there will be an increase in industrial and residential areas near RJ River. These are few of the TP schemes near RJ River, and in which some of them follow the RFT guidelines and some of them won't. The Rajkot city is known for its industries. These industries produce a lot of waste, which is 6.1%, that is 43 TPD. These are the locations of RJ River and its industries. According to RFT guidelines, there should be no industrial zoning nearby. The riverbed and river width analysis. This analysis has been done to understand how the width of the river and riverbed changes according to the land use on the both sides of the river by taking 5 different types of buildings typologies which affects the widths. So the recreational and fields has wider river flowing, whereas buildings has lessened the width of the river. This is the drainage order map, which has 5 types of orders. Thinnest is the first order and the thickest is the last order. The total order was around 695 km in 2000, in which order 1 was around 370 km. By the year 2022, the total order and order 1 kilometers have reduced. Similarly, for the order 2 and so on, the calculations has been done and observed that the urbanization has decreased the order's length. The sewage discharge. These are the locations of STP and pumping stations, and these are the observations made on the RJ River. Social concern. There are many temples and 2 crematorium near RJ River, which will increase the social value. But in the report, they haven't taken into consideration the festival and heritage conservation perspective. These are multiple case studies which are further divided into 3 parameters of 3 aspects to understand what were the major key parameters before proposing a RFT. The river development total cost is 1400 crore. The first phase costs around 187 crore, which is about 1 kilometer stretch in between Indira Bridge and Dudhsagar Bridge. As a conclusion to my appraisal of RJ Riverfront development, I have compiled a set of suggestions which are based on case studies, guidelines and the site observations, which will help in the well-rounded development of the project. Thank you. Thank you.